Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Back again with another live stream. This time to talk about Riccardo Calafiori, Fabrizio Romano and Di Marzio have both confirmed that this deal, total agreement, very, very close. I'm sure they wanted to get it done before Arsenal travel tomorrow. So I'm sure we'll get a lot of news on Calafiori today and a lot of news on Calafiori tomorrow. So let's get straight into it. This is what but Fabrizio has had to say this morning. Understand Arsenal are now close to reach total agreement with Bologna for Riccardo Calafiori. Positive talks took place behind the scenes with players agent Alexandro Lucci on it. Arsenal now confident to get it done. Personal terms remain agreed deal until June 2029. So that is what Fabrizio has had to say this morning. Total agreement close to being reached. As I said, I'm sure they want to get it done before Arsenal travel to the USA tomorrow. This is a signing that we've been, dealing with the last couple of weeks since Italy got eliminated from the Euros a couple of weeks ago. So we've been trying to negotiate it throughout the 2 weeks, maybe even more than 2 weeks. And I've always been confident we are going to get this deal done. I've always said I'm 99% sure. For players like Nico Williams, I've said I'm not sure. I think he's going to join Barcelona. But for someone like Calafiori, I was like, this is definitely going to happen. He's already chosen Arsenal ahead of Leverkusen, ahead of Chelsea, ahead of PSG, and all these other teams. And Arsenal and Bologna already have a good relationship, although this one has taken a bit of time. And Riccardo Calafiori has already accepted to join us a long time ago. So for me, as long as the player has already agreed to join Arsenal, and this is like a main sign that the wants to make, I'm usually confident we're going to get it done, unless we carry it on for too long and then the player himself says, you know what, I've actually decided to move, to stay or move to a Real Madrid or someone. That is the only way. But this particular deal, I was always confident it was going to happen. And it looks like the total agreement will be reached this week. And I think that we're now going to pass, maybe even today. I think even in the next 4 or 5 hours, I could be back again live saying, here we go for Calafiori. That is what Fabrizio had to say. And according to Di Marzio, Calafiori is closer than ever to Arsenal for 50 million euro package. Arsenal are pushing to seal the final agreement with Bologna soon, discussing the last add-ons and sell-on structure. So I think for the deal itself, the packaging itself, I think we're like 98% there. Now it's last add-ons and sell-on structure. I'm sure that could take a couple of hours. Maybe they've already agreed, but the media is waiting to get the final information. I am sure we're going to get it done before Arsenal travel tomorrow. So Calafiori is looking very likely to be our first official signing. Is actually our third signing, but first official signing, if not, I mean, like after Ray and after Setford, the goalkeeper. We've also had another goalkeeper called Nigard. So, but this is like a real signing that people want to see. So Riccardo Calafiori to Arsenal, absolutely going to happen very, very soon. And by very soon, I know you guys have had very soon and very close and deal close a lot of times this summer. But this one, this is closer than ever. This is like it could happen today, kind of close. So if you're just joining, let's get through it again. Fabrizio said, understand now close to reach total agreement with Bologna for Riccardo Calafiori. Positive talks took place, and according to Di Marzio, 50 million package closer than ever, discussing the last add-ons and the sell-on structure. Now, this will be a big signing. I can even say this is a big signing. I think for me, he's already been an Arsenal player the last 2 weeks. I think you're definitely going to get it done. And we need him before preseason. Right now, there's players who aren't back. Gabriel is not yet back in the team. Zinchenko, have I seen Zinchenko in training? I don't think I've seen Zinchenko in training. I don't think I've seen Zinchenko in all the training pictures at all. I don't know where he is, actually. So those are two defenders we don't have at the moment. Kivio looks likely he could be going. He's not come back to training anyway yet. So those are 3 players in terms of defenders that we are missing. So you only have, even Saliba is away. So those are 4 defenders we're missing. Am I missing anyone else? White is there, Tomiyasu is there, Timber is there. So we really only have 3 defenders. So we do need Calafiori to be there for the preseason, and the players are traveling tomorrow. Now, it might not be on that particular plane. It might be on a different plane later that night or something, depending on what time they're traveling tomorrow. But you do need defenders. You do need players in the squad. That's why when people say, I don't think Arsenal are going to sign someone this transfer window, it is not possible. I'm sure you're going to sign Calafiori and we're going to sign someone else by Monday or Tuesday. I'm 100% sure we're going to get 2 deals done before the end of the month, as I said yesterday's live stream, because we don't have enough players anyway. So you have to get players like there's a lot of players who've left, and Rice is not yet back. Saka is not yet back. We don't even have a goalkeeper because Ryan Ramsdale are not yet back. I think you're going to get that one done as well. I think you're going to sign another goalkeeper in the next 2-3 days as well. In terms of defenders, the likes of Saliba not yet back. Gabriel is not yet back as well. Zinchenko is not yet back. Kivia is leaving as well. We don't have enough defenders. Midfield wise, Saka is not yet here. Martinelli is not yet here. So we do need players to be there for our preseason 2, and that Calafiori looks to be set to be one of them. And then hopefully we do get another signing in the next couple of days. But this one very, very close to be done. Very happy to announce that. As I said, I think by later on today, we could hear here we go for Calafiori. I don't know how quickly they can get it done in terms of, I mean, we don't know. He could be on the plane right now heading for a medical. We don't know. But I think they're trying to get it done before tomorrow. So a medical could be done and it could be part of the team traveling tomorrow. So let's see how that one goes. Let me see what you guys are saying before we go to the rest of the news. Hello, Arsenal, says Langford. Good morning. Awal. Good morning, Latif. About time, says Lloyd. Yeah, I know, about time. It's taken a long time, I know. But as I've always said, a player like Calafiori, as long as he's already agreed to join Arsenal and there's no other team that is going to negotiate for him at that particular moment, the only fear is usually, a man still left back gets an injury and then they're like, oh, actually, Calafiori has not yet joined Arsenal, let's go for him. Or Real Madrid, they decide, okay, we're not going for Alphonso Davies and Mendy is leaving, let's go for Calafiori last minute. That is the only worry. But as long as the players are already agreed to join Arsenal and, personal terms have been agreed, 5 years, he's already happy to join the club, he's already happy with the project. The only thing that is remaining is you and the club to agree on a fee. I'm usually confident. I'm usually like, it doesn't have to happen last week. If it can happen the next week and we pay less, I have no problem with that. But I think maybe the bonuses were higher. Maybe they are not agreeing on this on the sell-on clause, or they wanted a 30-40% sell-on clause on us as well, but us wanted it less, so that when it comes to time where you're going to sell Calafiori, we're going to sell him and get maybe 80% of the money and not maybe 60% of the money. If it takes a couple of more weeks to negotiate, as long as you get it done before preseason starts, no problem. I think our first match will be on Thursday, like Wednesday night heading to Thursday morning. So in terms of the games, even if he doesn't travel on Sunday, travels on Monday, he'll still be there for the Bournemouth game that we're playing. Come on now, get for me, Kimmich or Moreno. William says, Stanslers, I need a winger, please. More about Neto. We'll talk about that. Julius, always look forward to the show. Thank you, brother. Apart from Marino, who do you want to see in our midfield? I mean, a transformative midfield that one hybrid can pass, get back to hold, and help. Let me actually put this on the big screen. The comments are a bit dark on that. There you go. Who else do I want to see in midfield? I don't mind Merino if Partey is staying. If Partey is staying and Rice is there and Jorginho is there, I don't mind Merino being our option. But if Merino is coming to replace Partey, I'm not happy with that. I think what Partey gives is too much in that midfield with Jorginho as well. In terms of control, you need someone to sit in front of the midfield and just control everything. And I don't think there's too many players who can do that. Now we have players who can play there. You can even say Timber can play there. Fine. You can even say Ben White has played there before for Leeds and Brighton. Fine. But that midfield position, you need a player who can control the game. I don't think Rice, people say Rice cannot play as a number 6. I don't agree with that. I prefer him as a number 8, but I still think Rice can play as a number 6, but I prefer him as a number 8 because I want him to go forward and, get those assists, get those goals, drive us forward, make those interceptions in the other side of the final third pretty much. That's what I prefer. The number 6, I just want someone who's going to sit there in defense and protect the defense and collect the ball from them and spread it in terms of the passes and the control and the ball possession, all that. I need someone to sit in number 6. So the only options I was thinking about if you're replacing Partey, it's only Kimmich and Bruno Guimaraes. I don't have anyone else I feel is sufficient enough to replace Partey in that midfield. So I don't know how possible it is to get Bruno Guimaraes. I don't think it's possible. And I don't know how possible it is to get Kimmich. I also think that is very hard. So for me, I'd try and keep Partey and then add Merino, and then you have different options. Now you can have Jorginho playing there sometimes. Rice can play there sometimes. Partey, if he's fully fit, that would be great for us if Partey is fully fit. Harry says, good morning, Glenn. How are you doing? I'm doing good. How are you, Morgan, as well? I'm still confident this deal is going to be done and dusted by this coming week. You're going too far, Morgan. I'm going to say it can even be done by today. As I said, I could be live again in the next 4 or 5 hours talking about here we go for Calafiori. I think they're going to try and get it done before before they travel tomorrow. Good morning, Harry. How are you? Crop says, where is Zinchenko? I've actually just thought about it right now. I've not seen him in the training pictures, and Ukraine were eliminated some time back, right? They're eliminated in the groups. I've not seen Zinchenko actually. Because he's supposed to be back, I think, because the players who were eliminated in the group stage are supposed to be back. But let's see. I'll come to the rest of your comments. But that's the latest news on Calafiori if you're just joining. Just quickly again, just a second on it. This is what Fabrizio has had to say. Understand Arsenal now close to reach total agreement with Bologna for Riccardo Calafiori and Di Marzio, basically the two best journalists in terms of Italian news. Calafiori is closer than ever to Arsenal for 50 million package. Now, before I come to the rest of your comments, let's talk about a bit on Neto. We covered it a bit yesterday, but someone asked about it. This is the latest on Neto if you didn't watch yesterday's stream. Arsenal have held preliminary talks with Pedro Neto's agent this week, and the player has made it clear he's prioritizing a move to Arsenal. The club view Neto as potentially great addition to their forward line, and have been told 50 million would secure the deal. This is according to Franz Fletcher. Now, there's a lot of mixed opinions on this one. I saw your comments later on yesterday and today morning, and it's very divided. Some people are like, nah, this guy is always injured, let's not get him. Some feel like if it's, can we take it down to 35 million, I would take him. Now he's a young player, so it either go two ways, whichever age is actually is. So he could fully get fit and doesn't get those injuries again in the next couple of years. He might fully recover from that, but you could also say those injuries could keep on happening for the next 10 years for him. But you could also say the fact that he's been playing every single game and he's been having a lot of pressure every time he's fit for Wolves, then he's always injured. But maybe when he comes to Arsenal and doesn't have to play every single day, and sometimes he comes in for Saka, and then sometimes he starts, sometimes you don't see him for 2 games because Saka is there, and because Trossard is on form, and because Martinelli is on form, then maybe if you don't put a lot of a lot of responsibility on him, he doesn't get that injured. Because every time he plays for Wolves, like, he gets injured and then he misses 4 months and then he comes back, and then the first game is right in the starting lineup, and then he has to play 90 minutes because they need him in that team because of his quality. Maybe at Arsenal, we don't have to put that pressure on him. Maybe he comes back, you're like, listen, you don't have to play this particular game. Saka is still there. This player is still there. But we definitely need a winger because Saka is not coming back until August. So I don't know if he's going to play the first game of the season. And Martinelli is not yet back as well. Trossard is not yet back. So you can see how many players we don't have. I don't know if they're going to be back by tomorrow by the time the players travel. But yeah, we are missing a lot of players. That's why I don't like the Copa Americas and the AFCONs and the Euros, because our players move on. And I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not a Belgium fan or Cameroon fan. I want our players to play for Arsenal. And we are missing a lot of players now because of the Euros. Now, we are not the only team, but we had 4 players in the final. And we're missing very crucial positions. Like, we don't have centre-backs. Saliba and Gabriel are not there. We don't have both our goalkeepers. We don't have 3 of our wingers. So it's a bit of a weird one. We might see a lot of different things. The thing with preseason, you don't have to win all the games. And it's an opportunity to experiment. So maybe we see Fabio Villa on the right side. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll see Jesus on the wings. I don't even think Havertz is back as well. He's not yet back too. So we don't have too many players, but they could be back by tomorrow. But for Pedro Neto, they want 50 million. I still think that's a lot of money to invest because of those injuries, not because he's not a good player. Like Pedro Neto without injuries, I think he could even be 70, 80 million. But they could tell us, listen, Smith Rowe has been injured for 2 seasons and you guys want to sell him for 45 million, which is true. So I think Neto and Smith Rowe, if we compare them in terms of what they've done in the Premier League, I think Neto has done more than Smith Rowe in the Premier League. But the fact that Smith Rowe is English and all that, I think he has a slight advantage in terms of that. But Neto, they could say that. They could tell us that you guys are trying to sell Smith Rowe for this particular money and he's always been injured. Well, we are going to do the same with Pedro Neto. But Pedro Neto without injuries, if he comes to Arsenal and doesn't have injuries, you've hit the jackpot, because we are trying to cover a winger. We are trying to get a winger to cover for Saka. Some people even want a winger to give Saka competition. That looks like Pedro Neto, and a player who's, is already said he's happy to join Arsenal. There's not too many teams that are going in for him right now, and he's already played in the Premier League. He already has that Premier League experience. I think Pedro Neto would be a good buy, but if we can take it down to at least 40 million, not 50 million, maybe add-ons later on, that would be great. Maybe add-ons in terms of if he makes a certain number of appearances, we're going to give them the extra money. that would be absolutely fine. Let me talk a little about Chido Martin. I've just been trying to avoid it the last couple of days, but it looks like Chido Martin is going to leave Arsenal, not because Arsenal are not offering, a new contract or whatever, like not new contract, but new offer. No, but just because maybe he wants to leave, looks like that. So sorry for the guys who wanted Chido Martin to stay. According to Fabrizio, Arsenal consider Chido Martin gone. This is basically, you know what that comment translates to? You're dead to me. You know, when people say you're dead to me, that's what that comment means. Arsenal consider Chido Obi Martin gone. Despite big proposal from Arsenal, he's leaving the club. Chido visited Man United. Oh, God, he's missing Man United, bro. They are pushing to sign him. Bayern, Newcastle, Monaco, Frankfurt also made contact. Decision expected soon. Man City not in the way. So the thing with Chido Martin, we've already given him an offer a couple of weeks ago, but he decided not to sign. He wants a new project for some reason. I don't know if that decision is coming from him. I'm not going to say Chido Martin. I've seen people saying, who does he think he is? I don't know if that decision is necessarily coming from him. It could be his agent looking for, I don't know. I can't even see higher. I can't say higher money because they've not yet even signed a professional contract yet. I don't know what exactly they're looking for, but he does want to leave. The thing I've always said about Chido Martin, remember, he's not really an Arsenal boy. He's not been here like since he was 5 years, 6 years old, like the likes of Nelson and Smith Rowe and those guys. He only joined Arsenal in 2022. He came from Denmark. He joined us in 2022. So he might want to leave very easily. Like, he does not have that commitment to Arsenal. Like, if he scored a goal against us tomorrow, he'd over celebrate as well because he doesn't really have that care about Arsenal. And that is the truth because he's not been here for years. He's only been here for like 1.5 years, and that is the truth. So it's easier for him to leave. Now, he could go to Man United and, absolutely kill it, and that would not be great for us in the next couple of years. I think United signed someone like a Garnacho, I think, from Atletico Madrid, and is doing well for them right now. But there's nothing you can do. If you have the offer on the table for the player and him and the agent and the parents and whoever want to move on, you just let it go. You move on. Right now, it could affect us in the next 4 years, but right now, if Chido Martin leaves, Arsenal can still compete for the Premier League. Doesn't mean because Chido Martin is leaving, you're not going to be competing for the Premier League, and then you can't do anything. He's a very good striker. He broke records last season. He was scoring 9 goals, 7 goals, hat tricks on his debut. Very, very good. You don't get players like this very easily. He's been dubbed the Arsenal Victor Osimhen. That's what they've been calling him, the young Victor Osimhen. But if he doesn't want to stay, you can't do anything about it. So you have to move on from that. You have to take the hit and let him move on. The thing that I hate about the youngsters leaving Arsenal, players like Hutchinson, I just know Man United are not even going to use him. I know in the next 2 years they're going to sell him. They could loan him out. He goes to, I don't know, Millwall or Charlton or someone like that, and then he does well, and then they sell him for 20 million. That could be a possibility because Man United, they have a lot of strikers anyway right now. Højlund, Zagzi, I'm sure they're going to sign someone else next season. So I don't know where the breakthrough is for Chido Martin, because actually at Arsenal, you can argue, we have fewer strikers than Man United right now. So he has a better opportunity at Arsenal. But at Man United, I'm sure they're going to do the same thing Chelsea did with Hutchinson. The next 2 years, they're going to loan him out, and then they're going to sell him. We might not even see Hutchinson playing for Man United, but he has to move on. He wants to move on. You have to let the players go. The thing that we do with Arsenal these days is the culture we have. If you want to play for Arsenal, you stay. If you don't want, we can't force you to stay. So all the best to him. Let's see if he ends up at Man United. I'd prefer him to go to a different team. Man United, it doesn't sound good. Like this Arsenal youngster who broke records last season is moving to Man United, but there's nothing much you can do if the player wants to move on. Judd says, I like your positivity. It's because of what they've done the last couple of years. And I know in terms of Arsenal fans, in terms of June and July, the meltdown is usually crazy. But I'm sure by the end of the month, most of you guys will be happy because I'm sure you'll have like 3 signings there, and people are like, look, Calafiori is in, Nico Williams is already in as well. Not necessarily Nico Williams, but you could get at least 2. I did say 2 players before the end of July. So Calafiori is one of them. I'm sure you're going to get another, plus another goalkeeper. So it could be like 3 signings, but I'm not really counting the goalkeepers because you've signed so many goalkeepers. If you could play 2 goalkeepers at the same time, you would be winning every single competition because we have so many of them right now. I can't believe you're signing Calafiori for 45 million while Man United signed Euro for 65 million. I'm proud of it, doing it a good deal. After this deal, you need good midfield and good false nine, says Alicia. Yeah, there's been a lot of Lenny Euro is a very good player, but for me, I don't usually look at what Man United is doing or what Newcastle is. My main focus is usually Man City and then a bit of Liverpool. Those are the teams I look at. Even if Chelsea want to sign 20 players, I'm not really looking at them. Let's just handle our business. Let them handle their business. Let us handle their business. Just because some people wanted Leniero as well, but just because Man United wanted to sign him, we don't have to sign him. I think Leniero is like 18 or 19 or something like that. He's still going to be a good player. But hey, come on, man. I saw Man United signing Di Maria. I saw them signing Falcao. I saw them signing Lukaku. I saw them signing Alexis Sanchez. I saw them signing Varane, and everyone was panicking. But nothing ever worked. As long as Ten Hag is the manager, we are good to go. We are good to go. Oliver says, bros, we're really tired of this story since 2 weeks. Calafiori, this and that. Just one player. The whole transfer window is disappointing. We're not going to have one player by the end of the transfer window, Oliver. The signings are going to come. Just because we've been handling the Calafiori deal doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only one they've been working on. They could have been working on 5 more deals that we don't know about. So I don't think it's a case of they've just been talking about Calafiori the last 2 weeks, because during that time we've been able to sign goalkeepers and we've heard about other links. So we are still doing other business. I'd like to know how they usually do it, who they usually send to conduct those deals at the same time. That's what I'd like to know. Thank you for the good job, please, amongst our players who possibly leave and the possible replacements. Also, as Arsenal concluded on the striker they are going for. Striker still quiet. There's not too many strikers, so I still have a feeling maybe you could still try to sign Osimhen or Gyökeres. But the Osimhen one, I've always said it's going to be hard because of that money. I don't think they're going to drop it further from 120 million or up to 80 million. I think they're going to drop it by a few millions, but I still think Arsenal are not going to go for him. And the fact that a lot of Osimhen's discipline has been discussed, surely Arteta is not going to go for a player like that. So I feel like if it's going to be a striker, it's going to be Gyökeres or someone that we've not been linked to before. And I would like to know that is, because I've sat down for a full day trying to look for strikers that we can sign realistically. There's not too many. We don't need Nectar because of his injuries and history. Can't waste 50 million, says Lyman. Let me know who would you have instead. Lloyd says 45 million is a good deal for Nectar. I would take him any day of the week. Without injuries, it's great. But as Lamek says, is there another Thomas Partey? That is my worry. But as I said, if maybe at Wolves he has a lot of pressure and a lot of burden and he has to play every single game, then maybe gets injured quickly. At Arsenal, maybe he's not even a starter. He can come on some games, but obviously we need him there because we want someone to help out Saka. We don't want a case of where Saka is having to play every single game again because his backup is injured again. We don't want that at all. Hopefully Saka next season we don't see him every single game. Now that Vieira is back, I think you could see him on the right side a few games. And Vieira is now doing gym. I'm saying he's proper doing gym. Hopefully he comes back next season big and strong enough to handle that physicality in the Premier League. Dauda says, wow, I've almost moved into the panic mode. Calafiori, great news. Now, I've never been panicked about this deal. Surely there was no, it is not going to happen. Just like the Rice one last year, those are the 2 deals that have been this is definitely going to happen. And again, I'm going to say, I think you're going to have 2 players this July, Calafiori being one of them, and then another one in the next couple of days. Harry says Pedro Neto is a good player, but the problem is with his injury. Someone asked about the players who are leaving. We discussed it on yesterday's stream with Cozy, but Smith Rowe is looking likely to be maybe leaving, but according to reports, Mikel Arteta wants to keep Smith Rowe at Arsenal. But unless an offer of 45 million or something comes in for him, then Arsenal could be willing to accept it. So let's keep an eye on Smith Rowe's news. He could be heading to Crystal Palace or Fulham, one of them. Reece Nelson, Arsenal wants close to 20 million. West Ham are looking to pay that, so that could happen as well. we also had that Edin Nketiah is happy to move to Marseille, so we are now just waiting for Marseille to put the offer on the table officially. One player that is definitely going to leave looks like it's going to be Kiwi. Now that Calafiori is coming back, looks like Kiwi is going to be leaving, but to which team? I don't know. It could be Juventus, Inter Milan one team, AC Milan one team, even Bologna one team. Let's see how that one goes as well. But those are the like 4 players who look likely to be leaving. I don't think there's any others. We've had mentions of Partey, Zinchenko, and all those guys through the transfer window. But as of now, I think Pat is still staying. I think you're going to have him in preseason. Also, Rice is not there. Jorginho is not there. So Pat is the only midfielder that we have right now. So they have to be there for now until the other players come back, and then the future will be decided. If someone like a Pat ends up leaving Arsenal, it's going to be on deadline day, like August 30th, 31st, there at the end of the month, of next month, not right now. So those are the like 4 or 5 players who have been discussed. I don't think there's any others. Ramsdale, we've not had any offers at all for him, so it's looking like he could even end up staying, or we could sell him after the season has started. We have Gabriel Jesus to back up Saka. We need a killer like Gyökeres in the midfield, says Kiprotich. Osama says totally ungrateful boy. I don't know if it's only on him. Chido Martin, it could be his agent and his parents. Maybe it's not his decision. I say that Arsenal will only consider players who want to play for Arsenal. Let the boy go and play for a club he wants. Good luck to him. Yeah, I do agree with that. Whichever team he wants to go and play, that's up to him. Like even if right now players that we absolutely love, like a Ben White says, you know what, I don't want to play for Arsenal. I want to move on to Aston Villa or someone. You can't force the player to play for you. That's the problem. You don't want to have that environment of players who are like, I don't want to be here, like we had back in the day. We don't want that. All that drama we had back in the day of players wanting to move on and players having problems with managers. We don't want that environment. The hero says, I hate this young lad, Chido Martin. Nah, I don't hate him. It's his career at the end of the day. So if it's his decision and he wants to move on, all the best to him. Edwin are still doing Mr. Wenger things again about transfer issues now, says Michael. What do you mean by Arsene Wenger things? Thomas is a good midfielder, but you can actually rely on him. So therefore, let's cannot rely on him, I guess you mean. We definitely need another midfielder. Actually, for me, I wanted a midfielder fast this transfer window. Is Calafiori deal confirmed, says Godwin. I'll come to that. We should go all out for a midfielder and the striker, says Hamzat. Eddie says, where's the mystery German player? That one has gone quiet. Let's wait and see what happens with that one. I still don't know who the mystery player is. Let's hope you're surprised by a big name. Mui says, good morning, boss. Thanks for the updates. Arsenal board should consider we fans. I ban my data to watch you likewise. Otherwise, we need a strike and backup for Saka and midfielder. That is all. I think they do consider the fans, but I don't think they make signings according to fans, because if they were making signings according to what fans want, we would sign like 20 players every transfer window. That's the thing, because some of you want Kimmich, some of you want Merino, some people want Bruno Guimaraes, some people want Calafiori, some people want Osimhen, some people want Gyökeres. So I think they... for me, I still think they know what they're doing. We finished second back-to-back seasons. I'm sure they know we have to sign players to compete with Man City. There's no way you can go into next season like not signing players. There's no way. So I'm sure they're going to get business done. But let's see. Let's hope that the players who need to leave, and the players who need to come in, so that we finish that project and go into next season confident. Because the last couple of seasons we've gone into the seasons, the campaigns, happy and looking forward to it with Rice and Timber and, Jesus. The previous season, scoring hat-tricks in preseason. It's a great to have these players for preseason so they can get used to the team and all that. And that's how loves these players getting in before the season starts, like during preseason, so that there's a lot to learn in this Arsenal team. I don't think you can just join this Arsenal team today and play tomorrow. I think you actually have to train the team for a couple of weeks to understand all the patterns and the structure of the team. Because as a left back, your job is not just to play at left back. Your job is going to be overlapping, having support, getting into the midfield, inverting, the way you control the ball, like even in terms of just passing. I saw the connection between Ben White and Saka when I saw the breakdown on how they play on that right side. Like even Saka, like Ben White knows he has to pass the ball a little bit like inside Saka so that Saka comes with it like in the midfield and then tries to have a shot. Like small detail like that. There's a lot that goes on in this Arsenal team. You have to have a connection with everyone. And as of now, we don't have enough defenders. So Calafiori is going to be the one to play at left back or at left centre back. So someone asked about us the latest news. Let me get to the latest news and then I'll end this one today. I'm not going to do it for too long. There's obviously a lot of news. I'm sure you're going to be talking about Calafiori again today. So I'll be live again a bit later. So this is what Fabrizio has had to report. Understand Arsenal now close to reaching agreement with Bologna for Riccardo Calafiori. Positive talks took place behind the scenes with players agent Alexandro Lucci on it. Arsenal now confident to get it done. Personal terms already agreed. And then according to Di Marzio as well this morning, he says Calafiori is closer than ever to Arsenal for 50 million euro package. Arsenal are pushing to seal the final agreement with Bologna soon, discussing the last add-ons and sell-on structure. So this one is pretty much done for me. I think we're going to finalize it very, very soon. I think they want to get it done before the preseason, as we said, and they're traveling tomorrow. They are playing on Wednesday night, Thursday morning against Bournemouth. So I think they want to have the player there before then. So he still has to do a medical. He's back from his holiday at least now. They were talking about him potentially and training with Bologna for a couple of days. I don't think that is going to happen. He's already going to leave. I don't think Bologna would want him there anyway. And I don't think you'd want to be there knowing that he's going to move, especially for players who are moving. You just don't want to have them in that team at that particular moment. So I think it's just the medical. And then after the deal is agreed, I think the medical will take a day. I don't know if it's going. Oh, could he actually travel with the team and then do his medical in the USA? I don't know if that is also possible. But yeah, I still think he could be on a plane right now. Who knows? He could be on a plane right now. So that's what we've gone through in terms of Calafiori's deal. I'm sure you're going to get a here we go this weekend. I'm actually going to say 100%. I'm confident you're going to get here we go today or tomorrow. And then for Pedro Neto, Arsenal once Pedro Neto had positive talks, the player wants to join Arsenal, but it's 50 million. That's what a lot of people are annoyed about, the fact that it's 50 million. That's a lot of money. But for the player himself, the player is very, very good. Let's see how that one goes as well. And then for Chido Obi Martin, I'm sorry for the people who want Chido Obi Martin to stay. He looks like he's going to join the worst guys that we hate the most, Man United. The guy is looking likely to be joining Man United. So let's see how that one goes as well. So let me take 3 more comments and then I'll be back later. Let's see. Arsenal variables says, well, in my opinion, we should look into replacement for Partey, backup for Rice and a striker. I want a midfielder for sure, and then a striker. Actually, even now, I would still sign a midfielder first because the midfield is your engine. If you don't have an engine, your car is not going to work. So if Partey could stay fully fit for an entire season, that would be that would be such a huge blessing. If Partey could stay fit for a whole season, like I don't think anyone can beat our midfield. Like if you have Partey, Rice, and Odegaard the whole season, and then you have players like Jorginho and Merino coming on. Glenn, what is your opinion on the talk that Rice cannot play in the number 6 position, that his passing range is not good enough as compared to Rodrigo? In terms of passing range and all that, I don't think Rice is going to play like Paulo or Javi, or who's another good example. Like there was a midfielder called Juninho. Like I don't think like he's on that level of passing the ball. But I don't think he cannot play as a number 6. He played for us as a number 6 for like 6 months, and he was picking up man of the match against Man City, against Man United, against Chelsea. He was very good, and he was playing as a number 6. But the fact that he can play as a number 8 as well helps us. Now, I prefer Declan Rice playing as a number 8, not because he cannot play as a number 6, but mainly because of 3-4 reasons. Number 1, when Declan Rice is playing the number 8 position and then he wins the ball back for you, that means you're winning the ball back closer to goal. So it could only need one pass. If he wins the ball, just one through pass to whoever is playing up front, and you already have a chance. You've created a chance. That is better than having him, intercepting in the number 6 position. Number 2, we've now seen Declan Rice quality in terms of going forward. He can score goals, he can assist. So why not just let him do that? Let him do that up front there. He wants to go to the left side as well, put in a cross. He's very good from set pieces. Allow him to do that. Allow him to make those tackles, interceptions on the other side of the pitch. And then if you also have a number 6 who can control the game and he can also make those interceptions and tackles, you basically have 2 players who can like rotate throughout the match. You can protect each other throughout the match depending on how the game is going. You can have Rice coming back in and having a double pivot for a few minutes. You can have the other player going forward and Rice coming in the number 6 to play a few minutes. I don't agree with Declan Rice not having the passing range, because I did see a stat that Declan Rice made the most forward passes and I think the most long passes. Was it for the Euros or last season? I think he made more than Rodrigo and someone else, I've forgotten. So it depends. The media, don't listen to what opposition fans in the media say, because right now Declan Rice is the worst midfield in the world according to the media and to the opposition fans. They will tell you every single Liverpool midfield is better. They'll tell you Onana is better. He's now signed for Aston Villa. They'll tell you, why didn't you go for Douglas Luiz? He's better than Rice in that midfield. What I prefer to do is to wait for next season and then let's see who's going to be better than the other. That is what I prefer. I don't care what Rice is doing for England. I care about what he's doing for Arsenal. Last season, he was our man of the match like 10 or 11 times. Some as a number 6, some as a number 8. So I don't agree that he can't play as a number 6, but I do prefer him playing as a number 8. David says Glenn Calafiori signing has difficulty because of the 50% sell-on clause imposed by Basel, his previous club. Yeah, that's another thing that we don't know about. It could be Basel and Bologna, that deal holding on because of them. Yes, Tamodi. Thank you for the updates. Let's go for striker next. Is Sinclair. Strikers are priority. Hi, man. I really like your updates. Thank you. Seidu. Let me take one more. Abdon says the real issues of less trust began with that pushing to sign Havertz. That's created room for real doubts from KSE. That's the Crankers. Deadwood's earning a lot yet not promising for the future prospects of the club. I still don't agree. Havertz had 20 goal contributions last season. So even if you don't like him, he still scored goals and he still assisted. It's not like he had 2 goals throughout the season. No, he scored. Like, the reason why we are competing for the league on the final day is because of a couple of last-minute Havertz goals and all that. Like, I don't think he was useless completely the whole season. No, my rating for Havertz throughout the season would be like a 7 out of 10. I think that is good enough. I don't think we expected a 10 out of 10 from those players. And for 10 out of 10, it's not easy to get a 10 out of 10. I think only Declan Rice. I think I gave Rice a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 lesson in terms of a rating. I don't think you can say Havertz has been a mistake. No, if you're still saying that, I think that is just an agenda being pushed. Like, compared to other players that were signed last transfer window, he's been better than most of them. All the other teams, he's been better than most of them, a lot of them. I can maybe say 5 players who were signed last season that were better than Havertz, including Declan Rice and who else? Maybe I'd say a Joao Pedro at Brighton did well for them. I can say a Palmer did well for Chelsea, better than what Havertz did for us. But there's not too many others. So I don't see where the doubts would come from, because we were 2 points behind Man City. The only thing that affected us last season is, playing Havertz in midfield and then playing Rice as a number 6 and then, not getting the correct formula. We had Partey injured. We had Partey playing at right back. If we had... even if Rice played as a number 6 throughout the season, and then we had a solid number 8, and then plus Odegaard, and then Havertz was playing up front since the start of the season, I think we could have still finished above Man City, those 2 points. Havertz, when he started playing up front, I think he had like 14 or 15 goal contributions. That was from January. So Havertz and Odegaard were probably our best players from January to May. So I don't see where the doubts are coming in from. But in terms of what you've said, in terms of Deadwood players getting contracts and all that, let's hope then. I don't think we have too many Deadwood players these days. Like we had 3-4 years ago, we had a lot, man. Like we had like 20. There's a time we were selling 10 Deadwoods in a single transfer window, and then I look at the squad, I'm like, we still have like 5-6 more. How the hell did we have like 16, 17? The time we had a lot, but a lot of them have now moved on. Cedric has moved on. El Nini has moved on. Looks like Nelson is going to move on. I don't really consider the likes of Smith Rowe Deadwood, but they don't play for us a lot. So if you can sell them for that 30-40 million, I don't think we'll have too many other Deadwood players. I don't think we'll have any Deadwood player remaining at Arsenal at all. After we sell these players we're trying to sell right now, I don't even think they're Deadwoods anyway. The likes of Kivio, I don't think we have too many players. So let's clear that wage bill with Nketiah and Nelson, I think they're getting paid like 100,000. Smith Rowe's contract is like 40,000 a week or 45,000 a week. I saw that. I was like, my goodness, he gets paid so little money compared to the other players. Welcome, Dauda. Where opposition fans judge Rice on his Euro performance, says Lloyd. They judge him because they know he basically had a 10 out of 10 season last season, and people are not happy with that. Even the West Ham fans, it would have killed West Ham fans if Arsenal won that league. That's why they were basically hoping Man City beat them on the final day. So what happens is, if Rice has done so well for Arsenal, and it's annoyed them very much. That is the truth. Like, people are not happy seeing Arsenal signing Rice ahead of Man City, and then he comes in and has like 11, 12 man of the match performances. They don't like seeing that. So anything, if he makes a wrong pass, they'll be like, oh my goodness, look at Rice, he made this wrong pass that he made. But if you look at the game and you watch the game and you look at the stats, you're like, oh, this guy had 10 interceptions, 8 tackles. During the Euros, Rice made the most, I think, interceptions or tackles the whole tournament out of everyone else. So people will not tell you that, though. They'll tell you about the time he gave away a corner because he misplaced a pass, because that is what they want you to see. But as long as Arsenal fans are not seeing that as well, where I have a problem is when Arsenal fans look at Declan Rice as well and they start saying, this player is not good enough. I'm like, what are you talking about? Let the opposition fans say that, no problem. How are you doing, RK? Hi, Glenn. I heard we cannot sign less unless we sell. Please need a strike. I think in terms of that, Patrick, I don't think anyone has accurate information in terms of whether we have to sell to buy, because right now you're buying Calafiori without really selling anyone. No one knows the budget this time around, so let's just wait and see. I still think we're going to sign players, and I still think we're going to buy the players. Who is the striker we are getting this summer? Because we really need a good striker to take some of the pressure off Kai's shoulder. In terms of that, I cannot lie to you. I also don't have any idea who you're going to sign in terms of striker. I think we are going to sign a striker. I think we are going to sign a midfielder. The one I'm not sure about whether we are going to 100% sign is a winger. I'm not 100% sure. But in terms of striker, I cannot tell you who you're going to get, to be honest. Dan, nice seeing you. I trust Atene do, but I'm worried about the lack of transfers. We have a difficult start this season, and I feel like our preseason is going to be disrupted, which might affect us. I think it is going to be disrupted either way because of the players who are at the Euros and Copa America, because we have like 10 players who are not here. Raya, Ramsdale, Gabriel, Saliba, Saka, Jorginho, Havertz, and Trossard, a lot more. So I think it is going to be disrupted anyway, and it's going to be disrupted for every other team as well. Now, for us, we had a lot of players playing in the final and the semifinals and stuff, but a lot of those other teams are going to miss players as well. Like Man City don't have Rodri, you can say Chelsea don't have Palmer. A lot of teams will have it disrupted. Now, it would have been good to have the signings come in early, yes, but I don't think there's a difference between buying the players, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and buying them on July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. As long as we get it done before the season starts, I think by the end of the month, we're going to have 2 new signings. And then before the start of the season, you're going to have the 3 signings in, and it's going to be done. Good job by Arsenal entirely. We fans need to be patient. Every player we scout and go for. Other teams will also rival Arsenal for the plate. So I'd say they do. Leo the Joker. I don't know what you mean about that. So no one could get fucked about what they are planning. So let's be true to them. So yeah, I agree. For me, I'm confident in what they are doing or not, right? The only time I'd be worried is if we get to August, as I said, and we still haven't signed anyone and people are panicking. That is when I'd panic. As of now, July 20th, I'm sure they're going to get signings in. What we've done the last 2 seasons, there's no reason for us not to get signings in. And the fact that we're now, people will tell you again, I know there's a part of Arsenal fan base that don't like Edu. Fair enough, like not forcing you to like them at all. And I do understand why fans are unhappy sometimes. They want signings quicker. I want them as well. Like yesterday, I was scrolling through the phone the whole day, nothing to talk about, no signing to be happy about. And it gets sad a bit. Like you see other teams signing players and like, why haven't you signed players? But I'm usually confident you're going to get the best signings either way at the end of the day. But in terms of Edu, people will tell you Edu has not done this, but as of now, we are about to break our record in terms of selling players. We could get 45 million for Smith Rowe. We could end up getting 30 million for Eddie Nketiah, and that is like we could total 100 million for those 3 players, which means in terms of sales, we'll have done well. So they did say there's a time Edu said judge us after the transfer window, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm not going to say, oh my goodness, what Arsenal doing in July, but if in August you still haven't signed anyone and you still haven't sold anyone, then I think you can get right after that. Sandy says you're not content with second place for now. I think Atta should make sure Arsenal beat Man City for the trophy this season. Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. Let's hope we do get the trophy next season. At least I was hoping for at least 2 trophies. We definitely are in a position to finish fast. But as people always say, it's not written in the stars that you're definitely going to win the trophy. We could get 96 points next season and then Man City get 97, and there's nothing much you can do. We can literally lose one game next season and then you don't win the title next season. But we have to put our position 2 again next season. Let's do all our business in the transfer window. Let's have a better start next season. Let's not drop points in games you're not supposed to drop. Let's have a striker that finish the chances. Let's defend better. Let's not make too many mistakes in the season. Let's go farther in the FA Cup. Let's go farther in the Carabao Cup. I want to see all that next season, because I do believe, apart from Man City, Arsenal can beat every other team. Even Man City, we beat them last season. But in terms of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, I feel like Arsenal can beat all of the other teams. Unless you face Man City or Liverpool, then it's a 50-50. Anything can happen. But we should be able to compete for those trophies and then compete for the league as well. Lloyd says, I think it's clear for those that see what Edu and Atta want to do in this window. A goal-scoring midfielder and a winger is on the agenda, not a striker. Atta wants goals across the front line. Fair enough. I'm going to be back again soon. But yeah, not Nico Williams. Ricardo Calafiori looking very, very close, according to Di Marzio and FABRIZIO Romano. I'm sure you're going to hear some more news later on today. Thank you for watching, and catch up with you on the next one.